hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello, hello. Thanks, Amy and Anna, for inviting me to read. This is called Ack Buttery, where one remembering wants to be remembered, that one is not always not disconsolate of butter, how that one mistreats the other, being obvious that whatever one is, the Judeity, the gender, that I make of myself a cheapness, a field peopled with concrete nouns, obviate unicorns toying with chiffon, the dismantled subject, mine ejaculate, the swallowed snot, the nature of desires that it o'ersteps, flesh, be sure, and if you do, to fall well, to where one can become unencumbered, the pen vibrated before one's own proffered pocket. Here, one was uninured by their appreciation of Poirot's mustaches, that they actually coveted it to the point of immuring themselves with medicines. To where the point of privacy ends, one's own determinate subject matters, thinking I will look up and see you, some when soon. The beast, what enwrenched, gobbets in toto out the whale's maw. Automat Metropolis. Check it, princess. I had been at one with the automat at times, where arrogance stood one for two in the navigant Oritus acopactic oracle. Then check me on Sunday, whined the orifice. Sao Paulo Metropolis, double the width of L.A., the verticality of Mannahatta pales against million degrees diesel Amazonia. Stereo concrete, Casa das Rosas annihilates, whose dominant glosser, who hath come onto Wirat, proclaiming their mode, mini bull, sleeping biddy, a meerkat oddity. Truly, Bahia hath captured Buenasera, quang evocas la Bahia, negras como li clouds, prenze ojo. Not that hath netted into naught, habitat, aspect, say, blood, West Coast, y'all. Yes, yes, y'all. Red sky at morn. Though what hath been primordial, their front, oft times in jest, as in accordance they have pronounced themselves most onerous, who foresaw, midst all lordlings, the hairy belly upraiseth itself from the sepulchre studded with flames, that this jest was made hereabouts, one amends their own self, not a priori the lover, but in the purported act of transing, that's what the therapist called it, carrying across as a threshold, does not one sometimes arrive or end to begin? Yes, death, but of a demon also, which goeth not with fleshy moldings. Ha ha, not with that guy anyway. To be cush is not to be chronic. To be cush is not to be chronic. I lay all my ganger upon it, that twerps are most like to be ethical creatures. It only leaked inordinately. My time stricture had a habitat, wanton until noon. Well could they speak English. Polymorphously, it's the juice. And I stand by my ambivalent sidekick, beat up for being the wrong kind of pretty. Outlander, skeeter, suck after. This has an epigraph from Poirot. I've been reading a lot of Agatha Christie lately. Poirot says, there are things that are not yet, but which cast their shadows before. Zeppelin over Zurich. The psychology itself is at fault. Our professors take attendance and footprints, who valorize the cock bulge as the Zeppelin looms, who propose to clear an American plate of bangers and mash, dot and go one, chasing the gravy around, who fancies their sideburns uneven, tempora myrto, half as much again. New nudism. All pure honey granulates. Done among oneself, one can have a turn, but yelling only makes old yeller yell more. Dream of driving a postal truck with bad brakes down a vertiginous precipice of moss, whence formerly, out west, I thought the postal truck was in pursuit of me. Hasselback made a face, ran the length of the table, or the nipple would be the same color as before. Why is there a prince if it can get agitated? I must learn certain skills, like how to pour a tea without it all spilling. You can't ask a lover to get intimate with a wound. I tried first the one glasses, then the other, finally none. I think I may finally begin to see in my myopia the several dirty pages, the fact that the page had ended, several amid lines and pale, hesitant ink. That my glasses, too, needed a bath like any other appendage. Had actually gone up in flames. Of course, that's what a flamer does. I shat an actual figure 8. Flamer forever. The tears attempted to approach me at my very writing table. This is how blind I was at 7, 14, 22, 30. I need only blink and my vision is improved. Philosophy attends my wounds, here at the hour, the utmost hour, where doth desire I could have been stoned, et bien dit donc, more philosophy. Maybe the artist had bothered about melancholia. Who could bear to really look closely at things? Painter Nanuchka has near fatal accident. Trotsky arrives how else? By night. Behind the dirty light bulb jokes, behind the mob, what wills me to be weak, stands Sort Figure, who fought the cold urge to drown themselves in the tub, where throwing vegetables was the entertainment. But this isn't France, and I am not a Renaissance person. I don't wear the many hats or shout into wells, proclaiming my gang to the tadpoles. Soon my brain slowed. A rectangle of light showed itself from the skywell, whose fascination with the slightly open window. I'll read one more of Mongrelitude. A bed of roses itself is no bed of roses. Nobody wants an e-book. They'd sooner leave you in the lake, a den of moldering slime for your coffin. Everybody calling it a recession, they're in a delusion. I am privy to these contradictory situations where I am told first the one and then the other bathroom is the wrong one. Madame, c'est là, and then, oh monsieur, je me suis trompé. If I powder my nose in the tudes, if I choose to walk barefoot in the small hours. You yourself are a healing property, you know. You came home from the fair only to join the circus its festal moods, to feast on frost. So one learns to make their way amid the multitudes, in no bliss as a cow person. I know I am the small fry here, whose harnessed thought drove winter aback, goes wrastling their daemon underground. Though the stirrups brinked and the mud was broke, I looked down to the rivulet between the tracks, and couldn't tell if what I saw was a turd or a twisted rust metal, and the rats rooting amid the black death and the typhus. One comes out steppin', their eyes fallen on the shores, cognizant only to the trash they mucked around. Suddenly, you and your neighbor's thighs are pressed together, accidental camaraderie or blunt eroticism, and neither of you move away. We race toward the mounds of gravel, the morning star met with its wanderer.